For 11 seasons, the Camden family taught us how to stay together. Ironically, real life pulled everything apart. One actor's shocking scandal ended reruns overnight, while another young star disappeared from Hollywood without warning. This isn't the story you remember. It's the one you've never been told. Let's begin with Stephen Collins. When Seventh Heaven premiered in 1996, Stephen Collins was 49 years old when he stepped into the role of Reverend Eric Camden. With his calm voice, compassionate presence, and unwavering moral authority, he turned the character into the ideal father figure admired by millions of American families. Off-screen, however, that carefully crafted image would eventually collapse almost overnight. Behind the success was a secret Collins had kept hidden for decades. In 2014, as his 27-year marriage to actress Faye Grant fell apart, the media obtained an audio recording from a private marriage counseling session recorded in 2012. During that conversation, Collins admitted to having sexually abused at least 3 underage girls over a period stretching from the 1970s through the mid-1990s. Police in both New York and Los Angeles opened investigations, but no criminal charges were ultimately filed because the allegations fell outside the applicable statutes of limitations. Even so, the consequences for his career were immediate and devastating. Television networks quickly pulled Seventh Heaven from their schedules. Producers severed their ties with him, and Hollywood effectively blacklisted the actor within days. In 2015, Faye Grant, the mother of their daughter Kate, officially filed for divorce as the scandal continued to dominate headlines. In 2026, at 78 years old, Stephen Collins lives almost entirely out of the public eye, his name forever linked to one of the biggest scandals in the history of American family television. Today, his legacy is remembered less for Reverend Eric Camden than for earlier performances in All the President's Men and as Commander Willard Decker in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Just like him, the next actor also didn't found his peace in real life. Now let's turn to Lorenzo Brino. Born in 1998, he was one of a set of quadruplets who, together with his siblings, was cast as the Camden twins, Sam and David, on Seventh Heaven when they were just 5 months old. In the early seasons, all 4 siblings alternated between playing the 2 children. By around 2001, however, their appearances had become noticeably different, and Lorenzo, along with his brother Nicholas, permanently took over the roles through the series finale in 2007. After Seventh Heaven ended, Lorenzo quietly stepped away from the entertainment industry. Unlike many child actors, he chose not to pursue an acting career, instead embracing a private life away from Hollywood. In the early morning hours of March 9th, 2020, Lorenzo lost control of his vehicle in Yucaipa, California, and collided with a utility pole. He was pronounced dead at the scene at just 21 years old. His sudden passing deeply shocked his family, friends, former castmates, and the many viewers who had watched him grow up as young Sam Camden. Did you know David Gallagher began acting when he was just 2 years old? By the time Seventh Heaven premiered in 1996, he was already 11 and brought nearly a decade of experience with him as he took on the role of Simon Camden, the middle son of the Camden family. The character grew up alongside him throughout most of the show's 11-season run, although Gallagher stepped away during Season 8 to focus on college before returning for guest appearances in the later seasons. Finding fame at such a young age opened countless doors, but it also brought the pressure of growing up under constant public scrutiny. His personal life occasionally made headlines through relationships with Megan Fox, Shannon Woodward, and Jillian Grace, though he has chosen to remain single in recent years. After Seventh Heaven, Gallagher successfully expanded his career into voice acting, becoming the longtime English voice of Riku in the Kingdom Hearts video game series, a role he has continued to reprise since 2002. Away from entertainment, he has also been an active supporter of Cure Autism Now after his younger brother Killian was diagnosed with autism as a child. By 2026, at 41 years old, David Gallagher continues to work regularly as a voice actor while making occasional appearances at Seventh Heaven fan events alongside former castmates Beverly Mitchell and Mackenzie Rosman, often reuniting through their podcast to revisit memories of the Camden family. Next, we come to Beverly Mitchell. She was just 15 years old when she was cast as Lucy Camden in Seventh Heaven in 1996. As the second oldest Camden daughter, Lucy was impulsive, emotional, and forever finding herself in trouble. Yet over the course of the series, she gradually matured into a wife, a mother, and ultimately followed in her father's footsteps by entering the ministry. Mitchell quite literally grew up in front of the cameras, spending her entire teenage years portraying a wholesome, deeply religious young woman while navigating the real-life challenges of adolescence placed considerable emotional pressure on her, something she later spoke about openly. During the show's production break in 2005, she surprised audiences by appearing in the horror film Saw II, a dramatic departure from the gentle image that had defined Lucy Camden for nearly a decade. Away from the spotlight, Mitchell met her future husband, Michael Cameron, while they were both in college after helping bandage injuries he had suffered during a fight at a party. The couple married in Ravello, Italy, in 2008, with Jessica Biel and Mackenzie Rosman serving as bridesmaids. Together, they have 3 children: Kenzie, born in 2013, Hutton, born in 2015, and Maisel, born in 2020. Between those births, Mitchell endured the heartbreaking loss of twins through miscarriage in 2018, an experience she later shared publicly to support other women facing similar grief. In 2026, at 45 years old, Beverly Mitchell enjoys a quieter life with her family in the Denver area. She spends much of her time writing, co-hosting podcasts with her former Seventh Heaven castmates as they revisit memories from the series, and participating in community and charitable work. For many fans, Matt Camden was television's ideal big brother. Barry Watson was just 22 when he stepped into the role, portraying the dependable oldest son who always looked out for his younger siblings. The performance quickly made him one of America's biggest teen heartthrobs, and he remained a central part of Seventh Heaven for 155 episodes. At the height of his rising career, everything changed. In March 2002, at 28, Watson discovered a lump in his neck and was diagnosed with stage 2B Hodgkin lymphoma. He was forced to scale back his role on the series while undergoing 6 months of intensive chemotherapy, completing his final treatment in October 2002. By April 2003, his cancer had gone into remission, allowing him to return for the show's milestone 150th episode. The experience transformed the way he viewed life. Watson has often said that surviving cancer taught him to stop worrying about life's smaller frustrations and to cherish every moment with his family instead. By 2026, at 52 years old, Barry Watson has been cancer-free for more than 2 decades and continues to enjoy good health. He married actress Natasha Gregson Wagner in 2014, the daughter of Natalie Wood, and together they share a daughter, Clover, while also raising his 2 sons, Oliver and Felix, from a previous marriage. Next, we come to Jessica Biel. A revealing photo shoot for Gear magazine in 2000 nearly brought her Seventh Heaven career to an abrupt end. She was just 14 years old when she joined the series in 1996 as Mary Camden, the pastor's athletic and seemingly wholesome eldest daughter, becoming closely identified with the show's family-friendly image. By the time she was 17, Biel had grown increasingly frustrated with being confined to that image. Without the producer's approval, she posed for the controversial Gear magazine photo spread, creating a media firestorm that shocked Hollywood. The show's producers reportedly viewed the decision as completely at odds with Mary's character and significantly reduced Biel's role in the following seasons. Ironically, that bold move ultimately helped her break free from the child star label and paved the way for a far more mature film career. Following Seventh Heaven, Biel built an impressive resume with films such as The Illusionist before earning widespread critical acclaim for The Sinner, which brought her nominations for both the Emmy Awards and the Golden Globes. Away from the cameras, she married pop superstar Justin Timberlake in Italy in 2012, and the couple share 2 sons, Silas and Phineas. Their marriage has weathered years of public scrutiny, including persistent rumors surrounding Timberlake's alleged infidelity, but they have openly worked to strengthen their relationship through couples therapy. In 2026, at 44 years old, Jessica Biel has established herself as the most successful breakout star from the original Seventh Heaven cast, balancing a thriving career as both an actress and producer with her family life. Nicholas Brino literally grew up on the set of Seventh Heaven. Born in 1998 as one of the Brino quadruplets, he was just 5 months old when he and his siblings were cast as the Camden twins. As the brothers got older, Nicholas and Lorenzo became the permanent actors behind David and Sam Camden, remaining with the series through its conclusion in 2007. After leaving the show, Nicholas also chose a life away from the spotlight, turning his back on the entertainment industry and maintaining a remarkably private lifestyle. The greatest tragedy of his life came in 2020, when Lorenzo was killed in a car accident at 21 years old. Losing the twin brother who had shared every stage of life, from the womb to the television screen, was an unimaginable loss. In the years that followed, Nicholas withdrew even further from public life, working outside the entertainment industry and avoiding social media to protect his privacy. In 2026, at 27 years old, Nicholas Brino continues to live quietly, carrying with him the memory of the twin brother with whom he shared both his childhood and the earliest days of his acting career. Next, we come to Mackenzie Rosman. During the Seventh Heaven auditions in 1996, Mackenzie Rosman walked into the room and did something none of the other children thought to do. She shook hands with every single person there when she was just 6 years old. That simple gesture helped earn her the role of Ruthie Camden, the mischievous and spirited youngest daughter of the Camden family. Off-screen, Rosman was the one who suggested that the writers produce a special episode about cystic fibrosis, inspired by her stepsister, Caitlin Salmont, who had lived with the disease since childhood. The episode aired in 2003 and even featured Caitlin in a guest appearance, recreating the sisters' close friendship through scenes of them riding horses together. After Caitlin passed away in 2008 from complications of cystic fibrosis, the loss profoundly affected Rosman, inspiring her to devote years to organ donation advocacy and fundraising for cystic fibrosis research. She has also spoken candidly about her own struggle with depression and anxiety after stepping away from the spotlight. By 2026, at 36 years old, Mackenzie Rosman lives a life far removed from Hollywood. She spends much of her time pursuing her passion for competitive show jumping and supporting wildlife conservation efforts. Her personal relationships have remained entirely private, and she has never chosen to share that part of her life with the media. George Stultz was only supposed to be on Seventh Heaven for a single episode. At 27 years old, he joined the series in 2002 as police officer Kevin Kinkirk, Lucy Camden's temporary boyfriend. But his chemistry with the cast proved so strong that the writers expanded the role. Kevin eventually became Lucy's husband and one of the Camden family's most dependable members, appearing in 114 episodes through the series finale. One of the show's most enjoyable behind-the-scenes connections came from real life. George's younger brother, actor Jeff Stultz, was also cast in Seventh Heaven as Ben Kinkirk, Kevin's younger brother, creating an on-screen sibling relationship that closely mirrored their own family. After Seventh Heaven ended, Stultz largely stepped away from leading roles, choosing instead to appear in guest spots and television movies. His later credits included Todd in Night Skies, 2007, and a police investigator in the psychological thriller The Finder, 2022, along with several holiday-themed television productions. By 2026, at 50 years old, George Stultz continues to live a quiet, private life. He rarely uses social media or discusses his personal affairs publicly, though he occasionally reunites with his former castmates for podcasts and fan events celebrating the lasting legacy of the Camden family. Next, we come to Tyler Hoechlin. He joined Seventh Heaven in 2002 at just 15 years old, taking on the role of Martin Brewer, Simon Camden's close friend who is temporarily welcomed into the Camden family. The role became an important stepping stone, allowing Hoechlin to develop his acting skills while growing up on one of television's most successful family dramas. That experience laid the foundation for one of the most remarkable career transformations among the show's younger cast members. Hoechlin went on to earn international recognition as the mysterious Derek Hale in Teen Wolf before stepping into one of popular culture's most iconic roles, Clark Kent, better known as Superman in Superman and Lois. Beyond television, he has continued to expand his resume with films such as the romantic comedy Can You Keep a Secret, 2019, and the critically acclaimed time loop comedy Palm Springs, 2020, further demonstrating his versatility across different genres. In 2026, at 38 years old, Tyler Hoechlin remains unmarried and has no children, choosing to devote most of his time and energy to an increasingly busy acting career that continues to grow both on television and in film. For a time, Robbie Palmer felt like another Camden sibling. Adam LaVorgna was just 18 when he joined Seventh Heaven in 1999, portraying the troubled young man whose relationship with Mary Camden evolved into one of the series' most emotional storylines. After 3 years, he chose to leave the show, later admitting that Hollywood never felt like home and that he missed his family on the East Coast. Off-screen, LaVorgna also found romance with his co-star Jessica Biel after the two met while filming I'll Be Home for Christmas in 1998. Following his departure from Seventh Heaven, his acting career gradually shifted towards smaller, independent films. During that same period, he struggled with opioid and heroin addiction, entering rehabilitation several times. His first treatment program was reportedly paid for by Seventh Heaven producer Aaron Spelling, who wanted to help the young actor rebuild his life before his addiction spiraled further. He married his longtime partner Kaya Brewer in 2016. By 2026, at 45 years old, Adam LaVorgna has chosen a quieter life away from Hollywood's spotlight, focusing on his family while appreciating the stability he worked so hard to regain. Rachel Blanchard arrived on Seventh Heaven as someone viewers were expected to dislike. At 26, she debuted as Roxanne Richardson, Kevin Kinkirk's confident police partner and Lucy Camden's apparent romantic rival. But as the story unfolded, Roxanne gradually won over both the Camden family and the audience. For Blanchard, the role also marked a dramatic shift from the glamorous, light-hearted characters she had often portrayed to a more grounded performance that fit the show's family-oriented tone. Following Seventh Heaven, Blanchard's career continued to flourish, particularly in the United Kingdom, where she won praise for her work in the acclaimed sitcom Peep Show. She later reached a new generation of viewers with her role in The Summer I Turned Pretty, demonstrating an impressive ability to transition between comedy and drama while building a successful career on both sides of the Atlantic. Away from the spotlight, she married composer and producer Jeremy Turner, and the couple welcomed a daughter. They have consistently kept their family life private, rarely sharing their child with the media. By 2026, at 50 years old, Rachel Blanchard enjoys a quiet and fulfilling life in the United Kingdom. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle and a long-standing vegetarian diet, she has avoided the scandals that often surround the entertainment industry while continuing to work steadily in both American and British film and television. Next, we come to Ashlee Simpson. She joined Seventh Heaven in 2001 at just 17 years old, playing Cecilia Smith as her music career was beginning to gain momentum. The role introduced her to millions of television viewers and helped raise her profile before she became one of the most recognizable young pop stars of the early 2000s. Only 3 years later, however, her career was shaken by one of the most talked about live television mishaps in pop music history. During an October 2004 performance on Saturday Night Live, the wrong backing track accidentally played, exposing that pre-recorded vocals had been prepared for the performance. The incident sparked intense media criticism and affected her public image for years. Her personal life also went through major changes. She married Fall Out Boy bassist Pete Wentz, and together they welcomed their son, Bronx, before divorcing in 2011. 3 years later, she married actor and singer Evan Ross, the son of music legend Diana Ross, and the couple went on to have 2 more children, Jagger Snow and Ziggy Blue. Despite the controversy, Simpson's musical achievements remained significant. Her debut album, Autobiography, earned platinum certification, confirming that her success was built on far more than one difficult moment. By 2026, at 41 years old, she enjoys a happy family life while focusing primarily on fashion ventures, business projects, and raising her children. Finally, we have Jeremy London. He was 30 years old when he took on the role of Chandler Hampton, a warm-hearted young minister brought in to assist Reverend Eric Camden. The role offered him an opportunity to reinvent his public image after his career had slowed following the success of Party of Five and Mallrats. Behind the image of the compassionate pastor, however, London was quietly battling a years-long addiction to prescription medication. In June 2010, he made national headlines after reporting that he had been kidnapped in Palm Springs, California, by armed men who forced him to buy alcohol and use drugs during an ordeal that lasted nearly 12 hours. The story sparked widespread skepticism at first, but investigators later confirmed that one of the suspects, Brandon Adams, pleaded guilty to false imprisonment and was sentenced to prison. Later that same year, London entered celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew to confront his addiction, while his then-wife, Melissa Cunningham, was also undergoing treatment for substance abuse at another unit within the same rehabilitation facility. By 2026, at 54 years old, Jeremy London continues his long-term recovery, focusing on rebuilding both his health and his personal life after years of addiction. He now earns much of his income through small acting workshops while gradually creating a more stable future for himself and his family. Sometimes the most unforgettable cast member never needed any dialogue at all. That was Happy, the Camden family's loyal dog, who appeared throughout all 11 seasons of Seventh Heaven. Before becoming a television favorite, the mixed-breed terrier had been rescued from an animal shelter, where a professional trainer recognized the calm temperament that would eventually make him a star. On screen, Happy quietly stood beside the Camden family through every milestone, heartbreak, and celebration. Though never the center of attention, the loyal companion became an unforgettable part of the series, earning a special place in the childhood memories of millions of viewers who grew up watching Seventh Heaven. Happy passed away in 2010 at the age of 15 from complications associated with old age. His remarkable journey, from a rescued shelter dog to one of the longest-running animal performers on American television, ended with a legacy few television pets have ever matched, forever making him an inseparable part of one of America's most beloved TV families. So that's the Seventh Heaven cast then and now in 2026. From one of television's most beloved families to shocking scandals, personal struggles, inspiring comebacks, and heartbreaking losses, their real-life journeys were far more complicated than life on screen. Which cast member surprised you the most? And who was your favorite character from Seventh Heaven? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more then and now updates.